Boston or something like that.
Is he U.S. Senator?
I believe so. Ronnie Franks.
Did he molest you?
He had sexual relations with me.
Okay.
That's
Is it Franks? F-R-A-N-K-S? Okay, who are the governors? Can you remember? Did you recognize any of the politicians?
I don't recognize too many of them. I didn't ask who they were. The only ones I really knew was Studs, a guy named Gall. Were any state senators from Nebraska, as far as I remember?
Did you recognize, aside from the fact that you had sex with some of these politicians, at some of these parties, did you recognize any prominent senators or congressmen or anybody, even though you may not have had sex with them?
A lot of the parties I went to with King had prominent people, because at Washington, D.C., whenever we were down there, you guys had parties. At the beginning of the party, you had a lot of young guys and stuff that were servers. We'd sometimes serve stuff, sometimes we'd be up in the background, we'd be walking around the party and stuff. Nothing was to take place then. After the party was over, the ones that were involved with him, or the ones that he was trying to get political favors from, that won whatever they wanted, they would stay or they'd come in after the party was over, or the next day. See, so at the party, nothing even abnormal. I mean, if somebody was in there and stuff, they'd see no abnormal activities going on, so they would, honestly be able to say that. I've been to the parties, but I've never seen anything. So, but I've seen some parties down in Washington. I've seen President Bush there, which I'd rather not talk about him.
Wait a minute, what year was that? Was he president or vice president?
Vice president. That's when he was still vice president. I've never met him as president because he became president in '88, and I never went around him after that.
You saw him at how many of these parties?
I seen him at about 3 or 4 parties, and at every one of the parties, you had a little ID card that you had to have, and they had a little scanner thing that when you went in, they run it across this thing to get in there and stuff. They had special agents everywhere, Secret Servicemen everywhere and stuff. And I fell off the balcony of the place. They had a little window and stuff, and I was sitting on there, and I fell off. Didn't get hurt. I got up. But I dropped my card, and I had Secret Servicemen with about 500 guns pointing, about 20 guns pointing at my head when I tried to go back in. Until our king came over and straightened it out and said he belongs in here, and that was kind of a spooky thing when you have all those guns pointing in your face and you're only about 15, 16 years old. But the reason was because the vice president was there, so they had to have all the Secret Service. But I also seen that some of them, I've seen people like Maureen Reagan, which is, I believe, President Reagan's daughter.
What did Vice President Bush hang around after the party was over, or what?
He was after the party a couple of times, and we were hiding in the closet, but I didn't do nothing with him. He was with a black kid, and then he was with a white kid.
What do you mean with a white kid and a black kid?
Well, there was one...
Tell me about the time when you were in the closet.
Well, me and this other kid, we were...
Who's the other kid?
I can't even remember right now. He was from the Washington, D.C. area. So he wasn't from around here, but we were just sitting in the closet talking, just kind of trying to mind our own business, because we were staying away from the rest of the party. We were in a back room in a bedroom.
Was this after the formal party was over?
Well, it was kind of during the formal party, but it was after a lot of people had already started leaving and stuff, and we remember that a couple of Secret Servicemen came in. One went to the window and looked around outside the window and stuff. The other one came in, looked in the closet, and we thought he'd seen us.
Was it dark?
He had a flashlight. The lights were off. He didn't even bother turning the lights. Come in with a flashlight. Looked in the closet. I guess he didn't really look around it, because me and him were sitting on the floor right below him. He kind of looked like this. He didn't even look down. Kind of looked like that and stuff. Turned around and walked out of the room and stuff, and then we seen this other guy come in and stuff, and I didn't recognize him at first.
Was the closet door open or closed?
It was partially open.
Okay.
So we could see out there and stuff. And, it's like the 2 people I knew as Webb. There's 2 kids that I knew as Webb and stuff. One of them was from Washington area. He was a white kid, and the other one was a black kid. I seen it 2 different times.
two different webs. One is a white, one is a black kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
One was from Omaha or somewhere out here.
Was the white kid or the black kid from Omaha?
The black kid.
Okay.
He's one that's from this area. And I seen at the time Vice President Bush go in, and all he did was the kids performed oral sex on him. That was it.
Kids what?
Performed oral sex on him, and
The kid performed oral. Which of the black kid or the white kid?
both of them. Well, first I seen him at 2 different times. First with the white kid, then with
When
the
you were
black
in the closet.
kid. Yeah, we
Was
were in
that
the closet both times.
Oh, were you?
That was our normal hideout. Me, him, and other kids and stuff. That's where we hid out at. We go in the closet and stuff when we want to get away from the party.
So you were in that closet twice when Vice President Bush came in?
And I was in that closet more than twice. I was in it about
I mean,
30
when
a dozen
Vice
times.
President Bush came in, 2 separate parties, once with a white kid, once with a black kid? Is that right? So you saw him twice?
Yeah.
And the kid had to perform oral sex on her? And what happened after they finished?
And he just got up and left, and after the white kid knew that we were in there. The black kid didn't have any idea that anybody was else in the room and stuff. But the white kid, his name was also Joe. It was Webb, and I'm not sure if that was his real name or if he just tried to copy the black kid, because the other kid's name was Wally Webb. Was his name, and the other kid was Joe Webb. But he told us, "Okay, you guys can come out of the closet now."
The white kid did.
Yeah, he knew we were in there because he was one of the kids that used to hang out with us all the time. Maybe like 3 or 4 of us. We just sit in the closet and stuff. And
Well, he used to hang out in the closet and stuff. He figured you were in there, huh?
well, he knew we were in there because he seen us go into the bedroom before we went in there. So we told him we were going in there. He said we're going to go in and in the bedroom and stuff and talk, because that's what we did. We went in there and talked and stuff. And, so he says okay. He says I might come in and join you in a little while. Because it was the only place you could hide from Larry King at. He never knew where you were at when you were there. He always figured you were up in some room with somebody, and so he never went and bothered looking for you. So he just disappeared for a while, and he'd go and look in the bedroom and never look in the closet, which had all kinds of stuff in it, too.
What do you have in there?
Clothes, anything. I mean, he was kind of a wild guy. I mean, I don't know if anybody knew that he was a drag queen, but he liked to dress up in women's clothing a lot of times. I mean, you got Queen of the Max, and
So you're talking about all kinds of women's clothing.
he had some women's clothing in there, but he had men's clothing, suits and stuff.
Could have been his wife's clothing.
Not in his size.
Okay.
She's a small woman.
So did you see Bush there any other time?
I just seen him at a couple other parties, but I never seen him do anything.
So you saw him probably at total of 4 parties.
Yeah.
Saw him involved in the sex act twice.
Yeah.
What happened to this Webb kid from Washington D.C.?
As far as I know, he's still down in Washington, D.C.
What happened to the other kid? Black
Wally?
kid. Yeah. Or
I don't know.
Joe Webb was the black kid, wasn't he?
No, Wally Webb.
Wally Webb. Okay. He used from Omaha.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I don't know. The only thing I know about him and stuff is what I've been kind of picking up here and there from what's been written about it in the book and stuff, even though his name's been misprinted or even though they use a different name for him, they don't use his name Wally in the book.
What other politicians did you visit? Let's say you went to 2 governors. One was either New York or Massachusetts. And what year was that?
That was in the early 80s. I'm not sure exactly what year.
And where was the other governor?
I couldn't even say for sure. I know it was down around on the East Coast, though. It was down lower toward Washington, D.C., because we were on a trip there and we drove to where it was at. So I'm not sure where it was from.
Who's we?
Larry King. He was the one that always... He accompanied me, or he'd have one of his personal boys. Well, personal men. Because they had Bodies by God, and they had... all that kind of stuff down there.
Did you ever see Bush in Omaha?
No, I've never seen him on the home. I've never been there. But I knew a guy that gave us a trip to the White House one night, and that was a guy named Jerry Spence.
He gave you a trip to the White House?
Yeah, it took me and a bunch of other boys for a tour through the White House.
And when was that?